Hello there everyone, it's Carol here from the Crafty Emporium. I just wanted to show you how I'm actually going to finish the cover off and the closure, and then give you a quick flip through of this inspiration journal where I'm up to at the moment. So basically what I've got is I've got some lace that I'm going to add onto the spine bit here, and then I've chosen this image which if my memory serves me right, it was a freebie from Artie Mays, and so I've printed it onto some photo paper, so that's why it's a bit shiny, and then I've added a piece of book page onto the back and just given it a really thin border around, because I don't think it needed any more, because I wanted to have some of this blue showing through, but I thought that the pinks of the cyclamen went really nicely with the pinks on the cover, so I'm going to add that onto the front first. And then I've got some pieces together that I'm going to make a cluster with, and then add the cluster to the front image. So if I stick that on there, and then allow that to stick down, bring it down a little, so that's going to go on there. And then I've got together a little book page piece that I've ripped, a little piece of lace, a butterfly that I've punched out of some paper, and then I've mounted it onto 2 sheets of craft card. And so I'm going to place those on there, and then I'm going to staple them down the middle where the butterfly body is. Great, that didn't work. Let's try again. It's a bit more of the book page showing. Okay, it's not going through as well because of the double thickness of the craft card, so I have to put some glue on. So maybe it wasn't such a wise move to use 2 layers of the craft card. Maybe I should have just used 1. Lesson learnt. And then I'm going to stick this tiny little blue butterfly on top of that to sit in the middle to cover over most of the staple. And then I can glue the whole thing onto the journal. Now these are the sorts of things, these little clusters, that are really quite quick and easy to make, and it's worth having a few made up to hand. So that you can just add them as and when and where you want them. So I'm going to let that stick on there, and then I'm going to put a couple of the gemstones, if I can find the entrance, there it is. Put a couple of gemstones on. And put one up there. And one down there. That helps to cover over the ends of the staple a bit. One in the middle. So that's what that bit looks like. And then I'm going to put a line of glue down on that fabric. And I've added some, what's it called? I know you're shouting at the screen. Nail varnish remover. That was the word I was looking for. I've added some nail varnish remover to thin it down a little because it was just getting that tiny bit gloopy. So I know that I need glue over a fair whack of that fabric. Put some at the top and bottom. Then I'm not going to use this first bit because this first bit has got coffee on it, then it's really, really strong in colour. So I'm going to move it down a touch so that I don't use that part. And then I'm going to sit the lace on there. And then again, I don't mind if this fabric frays a little over time. And then clip off the excess. So that will be my cover pretty much done. As I say, I might end up putting some lace on the back here because as you can see, when I've been using it on my mat, it's picked up some dirty bits of glue and ink, and so I think that the lace will just help to protect that a little bit. So I think I probably will put some on there. And then on the back cover, I'm going to punch a hole. And I've already cut and punched 2 hole reinforcers out of some matching card. So it just helps to protect that hole a little bit. When I come to put the seam binding on. Oop! I didn't want to go. Come back. That's one on there. I'll put one on the other side. One on there. And then I've cut myself a piece of pink seam binding. And I've cut about 1 metre in length. I've folded it in half and then put the loopy end through the hole. Open up the loop, put the loose ends through and pull so that it's nice and tight. So that to close it, it will wrap around and then the loose ends will sit underneath the ribbon. And again, what I'll do is I will add maybe a key, something heavy, a brass charm or something on the end here to weight it down. But that is basically then my journal finished. Now, finished in terms of it's ready to carry on being used, I should say, because I've left quite a few pages with nothing on, so that as I'm watching more videos and I get more inspiration, then I can add to the journal. But as you can see, it's already getting to be a chunky monkey. So again, to the inside, I've got my list here of some ideas, of which I've gone through a fair few of them with you. There are some more as well, but I've gone through a fair few of those. And then obviously you'll recognise some of the pieces that I've already covered with you. I've decorated up this envelope a little bit more by adding on a butterfly and put some dangly lace on. And then obviously, you know, that page, but I've added some butterflies on here and drawn some little lines on there to make it look as though the butterflies are flying. I've added one of those rectangle pieces that opens up. I've done a larger version here, which then acts as a pocket on the corner of that page there, and then I've decorated it up with another cluster, and I made that in the same way as I did with the one on the front. Obviously that one flips open and we've got this little secret pocket here. I've added a journaling card in there. This was the magnetic bookmark, and then I've written down here about how I made it, and then I've just got a graphic 45 journaling card there, and then again I've decorated it up. So basically I've decorated it up with butterflies. So it has a little bit of a theme running through it. So it's pink, blues and butterflies. I've added the front on this pocket and added a journaling card here. I've done a couple of tags, and again I've written on there to say, you know, it's a good way of using up your long strips of patterned paper, and then I've decorated the front of the pocket up. Here I've added the paperclip butterfly at the top, and then on the inside I've written about this particular belly band, and I've put a piece of decorative paper underneath the belly band as well. So as I say, I have left some pages with nothing on so that I can keep adding to it. That was one of the little envelope marks, book page marks. This one was the sliding butterfly, and I've just added a piece of decorative paper under there. It's another one of those book page markers. I've written about the book, and I've decorated it up again with the butterflies, and I've added some flowers. I haven't done any more with those apart from I have added another one, I think, since you last saw it, and so in this one I actually cut out some words, stuck them on, and just decorated the page up a little, or the envelope up a little. That one you've already seen. Just decorated up this pocket, added some words, just folded a piece of scrap paper in there, added one of the paper clips here. This one was the little tiny fold down pieces that I showed you how to go about making, and I've just decorated them up with some patterned paper, which I think I showed you, and then I've added some butterflies. I've done some faux stitch lines around joining them together, and then I've added one of the images from one of the kits that I sell onto the back of the cabinet card, and so that just slots in there. That one you've already seen. That you've already seen, and then I've added one of the other paper clips on here, and I've written on this coffee-dyed index card about how I went about making the little notebook. That one you've already seen with the tags, and then that's the butterfly paper clip that I showed you, and then that's the glassine bag at the back with the scraps of paper in, so that when I come across more ideas, then I've got some papers to add to this particular journal, and then I've got this particular journal then to use as inspiration for on those times when I get a little bit stumped and I'm not quite sure what to do. So in terms of me saying it's done, it's finished, it is for now, but it's ready now for me to carry on adding more to it as and when I come across anything else. So that's the end of this mini series. I hope that you found it inspiring and will create your own journals along the same lines as this to be able to store your own inspirations in. So as well as following along with the pieces of ephemera that I showed you how to make, you can then carry on and go and add any of your own to it that you so wish. So thank you for joining me on this little mini journey, and hopefully I'll see you all again in the next lot of videos. See you again soon. Bye for now.